Hello everyone, I'm Coyote Jack, and I saw this one and this is a post in Spanish talking about the rampant censorship in South Korea. Look, we know prawn is illegal in South Korea, and it actually enforcement got way worse in the 2000s after certain female prime minister took into office and they found out she was with the fucking cult of the 4B movement. So you're seeing this one. Rampant censorship up to limit in South Korea. The strict laws of South Korea have forced hundreds of illustrators to fake being Japanese, creating content, mature content, and suggestive content can mean prison. That's why a lot of artists publish their works only in Japanese or English and deletes all trace of their native language to avoid being tracked. Yes, because you could be denounced way quicker. Not only men but also women. We have seen that also South Korean women can drown sexiness and sex in a appealing way. But because you have for me feminist movement, yes, it's a danger because those fucking feminists are acting like the commies of the Soviet Union when they were just prosecuting everyone, saying, "Oh, this one doesn't look patriotic. Oh, this one has something, yeah, and I don't like it because envy." And all of that mindset of that, yeah, I want everyone to be miserable just as me. And the loss has been going way worse over the course of the years. And it's way worse now that they have voted the left wing party. That also we have covered how they are starting to even create ministries of purity and all of that, like morality. Yeah, they are actually going the way of Shimonera, way worse than we have never seen. But yes, this problem even started with conservative South Korean politicians because even I have to say, those conservatives are not right wing, they are conservative left wing because South Korea has a track record of having prosecution in South Korea because some of their politicians are sympathizers of North Korea, of communism in general, and it shows with their behavior. And feminists are not exemption. Feminists are primarily left-wing ideology and most also exploiting their nature of envy against other women. I'm not going to stop calling it that feminism is cancer. Cancer is feminism and should be eradicated. All those fucking feminist organizations are fucking terrorist groups, in my opinion, that should be dealt with. So you have a lot of comments here. So apparently there is no good South Korea. This one Enigma Bonnie. That's why I don't view Korean politicians favorably. Just because someone is a politician does not mean they have the right to harass and oppress artists. This is also the reason why, as an artist, do not support the left or the right, regardless of political leanings. Many politicians are indifferent to the freedom of artists. Maybe that's true, but I have seen, for the most part, in my experience, yeah, Tradcocks, we called them out in the past, and we're still going to keep calling it in the present because we have seen when they said we need to protect the children, and they enact censorship. Well, to be honest, I have seen way worse with left wing. Honestly, do I have to mention when Argentinian feminists banned Dragon Ball in Argentina because they said it promoted toxic masculinity? Dragon Ball Z was banned there for a full year until their current president that actually supports freedom, Javier Milei, stepped in office and cut off all the support of feminism through the government. But well, not all entirely because you have a lot of left-wing politicians supporting it behind the scenes. So let's continue. Aerobotan here, man. The left are more dangerous. I absolutely agree, man. Yes, they are way more dangerous. They're more destructive. We have seen their behavior many times. Like it's like that meme of that fucker that just because one side that hasn't done a lot of scores compared to the other one starts saying, see, all sides are the same. You can have a point if you have equally like the same place. And I have to tell you, yeah, I don't like when right wingers support the same type of censorship. I just see them and just being part of the same side. When it comes to left wingers alone, we have seen their damage. Yes, and I agree with Eroboran. All the artist purge happened during leftist ring. This president is a commie, and that previous female feminist president, who is yearly for corruption, is an extreme feminist. Yes. And someone said, spam? Let's see. In 2030, the left will start a war against Japan. I don't know what this means, man. So, however, unfortunately, in 2030, a war breaks out on the grounds that quote unquote the ethnicity was exacerbated by the harmfulness of Japan's adult videos and anime. We have seen antis using that skills. Around 3,000 men are killed, turning into a women dominated nation and becomes a country with much stricter regulations of expression. You know, yes, I will have to agree, but yeah, my internet is just dog shit today. Sorry, I cannot show you the image as I want to see it. So let's go back. So because I want to for you to see why there is a lot of the opinions. Honestly, I will say the friendly ideology to artists is libertarianism. I have to agree. I have seen presidents like Javier Milei displaying that. But between the ideology and the actual parties, there tends to be a difference. So might depend of the country. Yes, I have to say it. Yes, but you know what? Yeah, even with that, don't forget the fact that all censorship from both sides needs to be called out always. You want to censor me? Yeah, you go fuck yourself. That's that's simple. This one, Enigma Bunny. However, censorship is not the only reason I am an English speaker. I have always preferred the art styles of American and European animation, so I simply choose English as means of communications to interact with them, although it has nothing to do with me. It still pains me to see many Korean artists hiding their nationality, and they have to, because they want to make the good stuff, but being turned over the government because of drones, man, is disgusting. So you are going to see people saying, "You mean North Korea, right? You mean North Korea, right?" This one, Galali Santos. I wasn't expecting this. I was thinking the only Chinese communists censored all of this, but looks like South Korea has no difference anymore about this to North Korea. And then you have this post, but I don't know why he's just drawing like the walls with the South Korean flag. Let's see. So, interesting observations. The phenomenon of South Korean artists passing as Japanese under strict censorship law is an act of creative survivor. So, according to the White Book of Crimes of the Ministry of Justice in Japan, Japan has a big market in anime and manga, but the percentage of sexual violence it's only 5.1% for each 100,000 people, but South Korea that ratio is 43.5. You know, oh man, like saying, oh, if we prohibit this, we are going to end up finally ending violence. Oh, if we ban guns, all violence is going to go. Yeah, you know what? Mexico can tell you that's not the case. Mexico can tell you you are absolutely wrong and you are a drilling retard. So the Confucianist tradition since the Joseon era, if I pronounced that correctly, to reinforce to enforce regulation amplifies the defect in place of preventing it. The liberty of expression acts like a scarecrow that dissuades the real crime. It's not time out to verify those data, so this one. Lobster doesn't equal low crime. It just means low reporting. Plus, Japan's 5.5% is a trap of silence. 90% of the victims from in the shadows. Well, you can have a point too, but we have seen how a lot of the crimes, all of the but they are faking it, and then you have activist groups faking real crimes while real crimes are happening and are not reporting those. And we have seen that a lot, man. We have seen that a lot. The reality is tied to censorship for the most part. But well, let's continue. So you have this one in Japanese saying, I don't know your country laws, but if your position gets shaky, stop pretending to be Japanese, okay? I don't know what the hell this means, so this one. You just can't help wanting to become Japanese, huh? And then this one. If you're going to reluctantly pretend to be Japanese, I would rather take fry in being Korea and engage in protest activities. You are good at demonstrations, and this is basically quote unquote don't look over here kind of talk. Honestly, I'm not understanding that guy. So you have even others posts like this. Song Hyu Nekomara, well, this is inside the comments again. I thought I was confident in Japanese, but maybe it's because I'm still immature, but it looks like someone who wants to assert their own opinions without looking anything up. And then you have this one, the Konosuke responding, I'm not interested in Korean at all, but no matter what you are researching or what reasons you have, just stop pretending to be Japanese or a foreigner, okay? Asserting your own opinions is totally normal, right? But pretending to be someone else is normal, isn't it? Okay, you could have a point that if you see foreigners passing as Japanese and wants to influence the country, yeah, you have a point. But what we have here is that South Koreans that they just simply cannot express themselves because of their government and they cannot leave that place. So they are resorting to other matters because they want to give us that good stuff. But if they are doing it by their official ID, their own identity, they're going to be reported to the government. Sadly, that South Korea is in a tough spot. So you have this one, Santiago Salazar Vicious. I always thought that the first ones to complain about censorship are always the prawn addicts. He's a fucking troll, man. He's a fucking troll. Mm, if you demand censorship for others, you deserve to be censored. That's simple. Oh, it's the prawn addicts? No, it's not the case, and he's a fucking drooling moron, in my opinion. Oh yeah, he's a nobody. And of course, people that don't comprehend, like this one, Sergio. Your mother had sex with a monkey, and that's how you were born. Sex is not bad. Prostitution is debatable, but don't be a fucking troll with Negro pronouns. Oh man, this one at some point, the religious are gone, and now the assholes have come. Yeah, they came, the assholes came. This one, another one, laughing and saying, on top that notice grabs Korea, and now they don't want not even to have do something. I don't know even in Spanish to me what he say do some stuff doesn't make sense. I'm just rephrasing it until and continue and said they better should go back to being Japanese occupation in the 1910th, and they're going to have more problems of having their population growing up. I don't know what to comment, man. This one South Korean responded him. Japan jerks off like crazy, fucks like crazy, and has all the AV and every kind of sex trade. But has a super low birth rate country at 1.1, lol lol. Even if you go back to the Japanese colonial period, the population barely increased back then too. It didn't help with shit, you dumb Argentine bitch! Oh man. Oh yeah, man, you have another one. But sadly, South Korea's birth rate is the worst in the world. Yeah, you have a mixed bag. That's why I wanted to show you this. So, someone sharing this. I never dealing with that again. Those kind of people should just be left to China to handle originally. Their owner was China anyway. The old Japanese empire really did a terrible thing by dominating Korea. We gave those people civilization, infrastructure, medical care, and doubled their population. We could just left them in that state. Well, that's the opinion of a Japanese one. Don't like Koreans. In a time that had kept going, Japan would be able to draw pictures freely by now. This one. South Korea is having beer since the last year. Not enough to replace the old population, but at least it's something good equally. So, as a Korean, I agree with your haha. Inside those comments. Other ones. No matter how you try, you cannot stop human beings from trying to drown or look at boots. They will always find a way. Not even a joke, just an objective truth. It's just a waste of taxpayer money to try and stop it that could have been used for catching actual bad people. I agree with that statement. This one. I believe that there should be less censorship in China than in South Korea. There are a lot of young Chinese playing emojis right now, and those emojis coming out in China as Chinese Steam. What happened? So, man, yeah, I know it was a mixed bag. So then I'm going to show you the quotes here. So you have someone here posted in Japanese. After the fake feminists collapse and Korean artists regain their human rights once more, the perpetrators who were the root cause will absolutely say this we were positive, but we were forced to do it against our will. Ah, yeah, I was following orders. Yes, that's true. That's true. This one. I thought South Korean regulations on 2D content weren't all that different from Japan's, but maybe they are not. And the other neighbor, Taiwan has so much freedom of expressions that you can depict genitals without mosaics and it's totally fine. So even if it's not that stand, I guess this is pretty liberal. Yes, and right now Japan is finally starting to call out that fucking censorship because it's nonsensical. And this one, let's see. I think this was Chinese, Japanese. Okay, Japanese. South Korea strengthened censorship lets Korean creators to impersonate Japanese people. Sparks buzz like North Korea. Reference: the UN Human Rights Council NGO statement. Less about the comfort women issue. South Korean government's human rights violation Japan-South Korean agreement. And this one posted saying Suinichi Fuyuki. South Korea continues to express its citizens in the same way as the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Yes. This one, South Korea and British fighting for the third island. Oh boy. It's cause of these pedo bastards are scared and shitless. I let's see this one. Ah, I see. So that means you have set a kind nationality to Japan. But I can feel that Japan is getting stricter and stricter with the regulations too. Gonna do what I can while I still can. Gonna leave a record for history. Oh boy. The South Korean law has the curiosity effect of reverting anti-Japanese propaganda. So spreading. Koreans in line pretending to be Japanese to avoid being prosecuted by their own government. As a result, the young Koreans are passing immune to anti-Japanese government propaganda. Yes, actually, yes, something I agree because even we have seen interactions with South Koreans having good interactions with Japanese. But you're still going to have your average hate among each country and passing all grudges. But it's retarded when you see the young ones having the old grudges of the old when they didn't grow up by each type, to be honest. Start all over again. And then you see this post in South Korean. It is really fascinating how, while overseas people portray Korea's subculture as its communist state, with varieties being oppressed due to horrific regulations and censorship, back home in our country, voices calling for regulation because the excessive freedom and indulgence in subculture are causing social chaos arise at the same time. Yeah, man, it's a fucking shit show happening in South Korea. So, yeah, this one, I'm seeing hentai heaven, man. Oh, another one. It's not just limited to Korea. Japan should create a special song called Hentai Heaven. Well, there used to be a website like that. That limits the area but allows expression to the absolute limit for artists all over the world who are robbed of their opportunities by strict expression regulations, you know? An interesting take. Dorontan Bin Sensei. You have South Koreans that actually created their own creation in manga format. The creator of Doctor Stone is one of them. And just to skip on that one, I was looking to this package girl posting this. So we American otaku, as well as our love, stand with you, Kurare Sensei, Doctor Stone Science Supervisor, Kurare on Japan's freedom of expression. Because of restriction regulation by the state or administration always begins cloaked in an insatiable quote-unquote justice like quote-unquote protecting children or quote-unquote upholding public morals. Yes, those words pisses me off too much. My morality. That no one can easily oppose. Before you know it, it turns into the quote-unquote right to erase anything that certain people just don't like. Like always. Even if it starts out targeting only quote unquote some extreme and violent expressions, and once you hand the powers that be quote unquote right to draw a line on what's okay to speak, that standard will inevitably expand arbitrarily. And yes, this is the translation of Curare. So yeah. Thanks to X Twitter automatic translation is finally becoming widely known overseas that Japan's freedom of expression reaches levels that are impossible in other countries. Japan has been able to maintain such a broad expression in manga and anime thanks to a large part of the efforts of people like Mr. Akamatsu, writers who also engage in political activism. Hits can be severe, a young girl and can be gruesomely torn apart, and even adult-oriented content is treated with considerable leniency. And it feels like Japan is always at the forefront, constantly pioneering new sexual fetishes. Of course, opinions like quote unquote, that kind of expression is not good, or quote unquote, it shouldn't be shown to children, it should also be freely voiced. But when you look to tweets from various countries and see just horrific things can get once a government or administration starts regulating expression, it really makes you think we need to cherish the present even more. Because expression regulation by the state or administration always begins cloaked in an unsociable quote unquote justice. Yes, that we've already read. Even if it starts out targeting only quote unquote some strict and violent expressions, where you hand the powers that be that quote unquote right to draw a line that is okay. Yeah, we read that before. Yeah, yeah. At that point, it turns into everything I don't like, and I'm going to remain in power for the rest of my life. For example, even words that tackle society's dark underbelly or scientific phenomena, like Rousseau's depictions that herent terror in horror stories, or raw fictional portraits of the horrors of drugs and the underworld, ended unable to convey what they truly should. This mess with a single, quote-unquote, tax inappropriate. And I have heard stories that happened to Japanese people too. I remember a manga. I don't know if you have heard that one before. I forgot the name. It's about the story of a mangaka that he was getting divorced, and yeah, the woman was a fucking horrible piece of shit that framed him and attempted to take away his daughter, and to custody, and while sucking up dry with alimony, all of that was orchestrated behind the scenes. There was a lot of government corruption because that mangaka draw a realistic depiction of how men are treated through the legal system, and he went all out, but he received pressure from the government to drown off an ending where now that guy that suffered because of her disgusting ghoulish ex-wife, now they are in good terms. Man, like, yes, even we have seen some pressure coming out of politicians because that's inappropriate. Inappropriate, or because it was going too realistic that it will cause actually make men to wake up about how they are treated by the government. Just saying. Just saying. But 20s. Soon enough, only sanitized flowery nonsense can be produced. Yeah, so watered down, no substance, no soul shit is going to be produced. It's always no story in how a certain Hollywood monster movie got banned for absurd choices like having the beating happen off screen or no blood at all, making it feel entirely unnatural. So Japan's expression tries this is the very chaos. It's the soul of freedom. I would love for not just creators but consumers too, or to all cheerious and protect together. Yeah, everyone simply should just choose freedom because this shit, man, is gonna end horrible. Ah, it's how it is. When you have a government that just want to keep pressuring censorship, you are going to make that country explode. But yeah, I know I went too long, but I really want to give you a covering of all of the opinions. You have a mixed bag. I can assure you that. Even this one, man. Someone did an article in English. So extreme censorships on Korea, strict laws are forced countries of illustrators. Yeah, we read that before. We must say no to censorship. I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree. So there you have it, man. Censorship is also cancer. Thanks for watching, and please take care.